think I met the one. In a million at the jackpot, finally did it, I won. Yeah, still searching for something better. You're just too good to be true. Ain't nobody like nobody.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Chasing Zion 100. Today we're gonna go through a week's worth of workouts. So a full week of running training. So if you are here for lifting advice, stay tuned for next week's video. We're gonna do a full gym workout, but today is gonna be just our running that we did this past week. The week that I filmed, which was last week, as I'm talking to you now, was actually Christmas week. So this week was definitely a week that I prioritized a lot of social things, etc., but also was able to get all of my training in. I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. If you do, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll get into the video. Starting on Monday, we had a 9-mile trail run. Good morning and happy Monday. I'm sorry if you can hear my dishwasher, but we gotta keep the things clean around here. We are gonna get ready for a run. I wanted to show you guys what the inversion looks like here in Utah. If you're not from Utah or you don't live in Utah, you might not know about what the inversion is, but essentially what happens is there are times of the year where just a ton of air quality, poor air quality gets stuck in our mountains because we're surrounded 360 degrees with mountains. That air quality has nowhere to go. So right now it's super bad outside. So I was planning on just going on my normal route for my 9 miles today, but I might have to change some plans because of how icky it looks. I'll show you. This is not rain. This is not clouds. This is literally just really bad air quality right now. I find that Mondays are always a little bit more of a mental game for me than it is anything else. Sundays are my rest days, or I try to make Sundays my rest days most weeks. So I find that by giving myself one day of rest and then immediately kind of jumping back into another big week, I feel like it's more mentally taxing than it is anything else. Like Mondays are a mental game, and just like if you get like Monday blues after a long weekend, I feel like that about my running schedule as well. It's just kind of daunting, I guess, to look at my schedule for the week and be like, oh my gosh, okay, this is all I have for the week that I need to get done. And my volume is growing each week. So I find Mondays to be a little bit more funky on the brain because I don't have the momentum of the previous days in the week. So I'm waiting to hear back to see if the guys are available to run. If they're available to run, I'm going to go to a local trail that's a little bit further away from the inversion. If they're not able to go, I'm just gonna go to the gym and get a little treadmill workout in. I don't find any issues with utilizing the treadmill in my training. One thing that I always suggest is use the mileage that's on the treadmill. Don't ever use your watch. This is like super unreliable when it comes to treadmill miles. Always go by the distance that the treadmill is calculating. I actually find some treadmill training in my training plan to be really beneficial for my joints. And in general, I just feel like coming from trail and now incorporating a lot of road, a little bit of treadmill training does eliminate some impact throughout my week. So I don't mind going on the treadmill at all. Honestly, I feel like as far as like grit goes, it definitely works to improve that. So all those things are good to me in my book. And I definitely don't subscribe to the idea that treadmill miles don't count. I think if you've ever been on a treadmill for multiple hours, you know that those miles count, maybe even 2x. So I'm gonna do a quick workout on my Speediance machine, just upper body today. My legs are still feeling a little bit sore from my 15-miler and my leg day last week. So gonna walk through that. I'll take you guys along for the workout. So I heard back from Shane, so we're gonna go run at Deer Creek Reservoir, which is a really cool area. So I'm gonna take you guys along. I don't know how much talking footage I'm gonna get throughout it, but I'll definitely get some scenery shots for you guys and take you guys out into the wilderness for this run. No treadmill today, potentially another day this week, but so stoked. Thanks, Shane, if you're watching this, for coming to run with me. All right, Shane is here. Gonna get some miles with Brennik! We did 9.08 miles on the trail with an average pace of 9:25. This is also a great opportunity to talk about trail pace versus road pace. So as an ultra runner coming into the road space, I know how different it is to train on trail versus training on road. And paces are definitely going to vary a lot more on trail than they are on road. But since this run was 9 miles easy, I could pick between road or trail. But if I was to do a hard workout where I had set paces, I wouldn't choose to do that on the trail. So this is a really, really fun run. I took Brighton with me, my border collie Aussie, and we went out with Shane, and we actually went to what's called the North Pole, which was a really fun little train stop that they had along this run. So very festive, very Christmas, and that was Monday's workout. So pretty. That wraps up our little 9 mile, I think we ended with 9.08 miles on trail. It's always good to work in a little bit of trail. Obviously, you guys have seen me do a ton of track work and road stuff, but I still love getting out on trail. It's my favorite. It's definitely a little bit different. Intensity looks different, but I absolutely loved it. Such a beautiful day. I love it. Tuesday was another 9 mile easy run day. For the week, 9 miles was my general easy run. You'll see that as we go through the week, but 9.25 miles is what I ended up with an average pace of 8:26. And something that I've mentioned in the past is that easy pace can totally vary based on so many different factors. Recovery has a huge impact on my heart rate as well as hydration and fueling. So you'll see my paces kind of jump around from anywhere from 7:40 to 8:40 is generally my easy run pace on the road. But for this run, it was 8:26. So easy road run done on Tuesday. That brings us to Wednesday, which was actually Christmas. And you guys saw this workout in last week's video, but to quickly go over the workout that we had 10 by 800 meters at around a 6-minute-ish pace. We ended up doing an average pace, I believe, of 5:43, if I remember right. But we also added in 2 miles easy to start off with and 2 miles easy to cool down with. So we ended on Wednesday with 9.24 miles with an average pace of 6:43 for the total 9 miles. Happy Thursday. It is the day after Christmas, and I'm gonna be so honest with you. I have been having a day. Like, I just feel like I woke up this morning, I had so much work to do, and I've been playing catch up ever since, and my run got pushed. So it is currently 5:30 in the evening, and normally I get my runs done in the morning or early afternoon, but I have just been, like I said, playing catch up all day today, and I know everyone has these days. I'm definitely not asking for pity or anything like that, but this is a full week of workouts, and normally I would just not vlog on these days. I would just get my run done and zone out, but obviously I'm doing a full week of workouts for you guys, so I'm prefacing this workout by saying that the conditions are definitely not perfect, but this is just a reminder, if you're in a training block, not every run is going to be like the most exciting, the most riveting, the most motivating. You're gonna go into runs feeling run down, unmotivated, and carrying the weight of your day on your shoulders. And today is definitely one of those days for me. I get like this oftentimes when I have either like a culminating thing happening or in preparation for something, and I can definitely tell when I'm starting to feel a little bit more anxious and I'm carrying kind of the weight of the world on my shoulders. We have a friend who's coming in for a week. He's staying with us for a week, so he's coming in tonight. So obviously today we were kind of situating the guest room and making sure everything was good, and the day after Christmas things were just chaotic and the house was a wreck, and I don't know, maybe I'm also having like a little bit of like a social hangover from Christmas as well. Just because the past few days have been very social, and I'm definitely someone who likes a balanced approach where I definitely need my time alone and also love socializing at the same time. So I wonder if it's kind of a little bit of that as well, but I'm definitely just like feeling it. I don't know how else to describe it. It is also disgusting outside. I will show you guys. I was actually thinking that maybe it would get to be a little bit nicer out, but it's, for one, pitch black because it's 5 o'clock, but it's also just disgusting and has been stormy all day. So not that that's necessarily an excuse for me, but that's another reason why today's workout is just gonna be a little bit less riveting than I would have liked it to be. So I'm actually just gonna go get my workout done in the garage because we still have things to do, and I'm just feeling a little bit stressed. So I just wanna kind of zone out, be in my home, get my miles in and get them over with, to be honest. Like, that is my mindset going in. I have 9 miles today, just easy on the treadmill, so I'm gonna get that done. And hopefully the next 2 runs that you guys get to see are a little bit more exciting. We definitely are experiencing a storm right now here in Utah, so we woke up to snow. It just got continuously more icky throughout the day, and I think tomorrow we're expected, or by tomorrow, we're expected to have 7 inches of snow in the mountains. So we'll probably either have a lot of rain here tomorrow, or it'll be a little bit of snow here as well. So I am snowboarding in the morning, which I'm really excited about, but definitely before a long run on Saturday, it's just gonna be a choice, a personal choice that I'm making. And maybe that's also why I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, because I know that the miles today might feel a little bit stressful, but the miles in the next couple of days are gonna feel, see, this is the problem. I just caught myself doing something. The anxiety that comes from anticipation of something that hasn't even happened yet, I tend to get myself in, of this overwhelmed feeling with perceived overwhelm. Like, it's not real overwhelm. It's not like something huge is happening in my life. It's all these perceptions of what is going to happen in the future. I can't believe I just caught myself on camera doing that. But yeah, that is the reality of things. Like, I don't have anything crazy that's happening in my life right now that's actually creating like a lot of overwhelm that's real and tangible, like a cancer diagnosis or something like really life-changing and earth-shattering like that. But it's all these little things that in the grand scheme of things don't really even matter all that much. Obviously work matters and people coming into town matters, but it's this perceived overwhelm that I tend to put on myself at this time of the year when things start to happen, when it's year end or quarter end for brands and for projects. And see, I'm just spewing stuff. Anyway, this might be cut from this video if it's this boring, but let's just go get our miles done. I'm gonna take some non-stim pre-workout, put my headphones in, and literally just zone out, because I just need just the time to get out of my brain. On Thursday, we did another treadmill run. This was another 9 miles easy. We ended with just a 9-mile flat workout at an average pace of 8:08 per mile. My heart rate for these runs generally is around 140, and that is where my easy runs are generally at as far as heart rate goes. All right, y'all, that is 9 miles done in an hour and 13 minutes, so an average pace of 8:08. That was a grind. I feel like definitely have these sessions every week that just feel like head down, really just in the zone, grinding it out, no motivation, just really the dedication and the discipline coming through. That was 100% one of those. But I am really proud of the fact that we were able to get that done. And regardless of not having it be like a shining day full of motivation, it was still a great workout, and I'm glad that I got it done. Something that I thought about during today's run was just how incredibly isolating and lonely, but not in a bad way, training can be. I think oftentimes we think about isolation as being this really bad thing, but I think that there is definitely too much isolation, but also there is a benefit of being in solitude, and that is finding some clarity and also building the grit. I think if we're constantly surrounded by people, which I just don't think is realistic at all in a training block anyway, but if we're constantly surrounding off of people, we're feeding off of their energy instead of feeding off of our own. And I think sometimes we need to go through the feelings of feeling down, feeling unmotivated, and gritting through the process, and that's how we just continuously build endurance and build grit. So I feel like if you're in a block right now and you're feeling like, man, like no one really gets what I'm going through, like I'm spending a lot of time alone, you're definitely not alone. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I just think that you're in a grit process right now. You're in the grit zone, you're building your skills by yourself, and you're actually getting more clarity through the process in doing so. So while I absolutely love training with people, I also think there is benefit to training alone as well. That is 9 miles, another brick laid in the foundation of this training block. I know this isn't like the most glamorous day, and maybe in general, this video hasn't been super glamorous for all these runs, but this is just honestly a true depiction of what training looks like some weeks. So this is what it looks like this week. Happy Thursday. That brings us to Friday, where we actually got our shortest run of the week, which was 8 miles, and also got a snowboarding day on the mountain. Good morning. It is Friday, and we are starting today off with a different type of workout. We are gonna go snowboarding. We got dumped on overnight, so we are gonna try and see if we get some powder. We've had some pretty bad conditions over the past few weeks, so I'm excited to see what we've got. I do have a new board that I am also riding today. I'm gonna try and film on this. We'll see how I do. I don't know how much footage I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna try and get as much as I can. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the balance between doing things that are really fun for you and things that fill your cup socially, and also prioritizing training. Normally, I would get my run done before a snowboarding session, but because I have all of the week's fatigue kind of built up, and last night I didn't get my run done until the nighttime, I'm choosing to do my snowboarding session before my run today, which is a choice. I definitely know that, and I said it in yesterday's portion as well. Like, when I go snowboarding, I know that I am making an active choice to not only do something that is dangerous and risky for my body, but I also know that I'm making a choice to prioritize the fun things in my life over my training, or in addition to my training. I'm not skipping a training session, but I do know that snowboarding causes fatigue in my legs, which does make running a little bit more difficult. So once again, kind of going back to something that I said in last week's video of just like, I know that all of these things are going to make me grittier. So even though snowboarding does make my legs more tired, and it's almost essentially like a long leg workout, I know that by continuing to run and train on fatigued legs, this is going to help me come Zion 100. So I always kind of keep that as a lens in the back of my mind of like, if something is more difficult or adds to the fatigue and I'm still training through it, it's going to help me come 100 miler, because I believe that 100 milers are like 90% mental. Getting through the grit of things and pushing your body, obviously maybe not 90%, it's like 60% mental. So if I can grit myself through these sessions with having excess fatigue, it's only gonna help me in the long run. So I'm excited to take you guys along for something totally different today, a little mountain session. I'll try and get as much footage as I can for y'all, but I'm really stoked about it. I think it's gonna be a blast. Currently on our way to go to our run route. I snowboarded we left at 7:30 and we got home at 3:30, and it is now 3:45 and we are gonna go run. So my legs are definitely feeling it from today. We did not have good conditions at all. We had I would say we had good free refills, like we had powder coming down, but as far as like conditions on the mountain, it was super low vis, but in all honesty, it was fun regardless, and just getting myself on a board is always fun. Anyway, so I am bringing Brighton with me. We had a dog sitter while we went up snowboarding, and he really wanted to come, so he's gonna come with me for these 8 miles on the road. I have been deciding to go actually to the paved trail for my road runs, because I've had a few incidences recently in my local area where I've almost gotten hit like multiple times by cars that are just not paying attention. So for me, honestly, just the easier choice is just to drive a little bit, be able to be to a little bit safer of an area where there's like actual sidewalks and things are paved, and I'm not just like running on the road. So that is what we're gonna go do. 8 miles on the road on pretty fatigued legs, but we've got this. This is one of my favorite sayings along this trail. I choose to live. Absolutely love that. We are about 2 miles in. I am soaked and stinky and freezing. We are 4 miles in, hit our turnaround point. The mountains are actually gorgeous with the snow, but still coming down. It's a cold one today, y'all. I feel like the shorts were a choice. I tend to wear shorts in anything that's like, I would say above 20 degrees, which sounds crazy, but because it's so cold, they're like literally bright red. But they're done, halfway done. We made it back to the car. I'll give you guys the stats in just a sec. All right, bud. Good. All right, y'all. 8.04 miles, 105, average pace of 8:09. So 8 easy miles are done. Definitely not necessarily the easiest just because of the conditions, but we did it. We're gonna head home and eat some food. That is Friday's training. Happy Saturday. It is long run Saturday as always, and I'm feeling it today. This is another one of those days. I feel like this week was not very positive, so I apologize for that. However, this is the realness of it. Some weeks are incredible and I feel like so full of life and full of energy, and this is just not one of those weeks. I am feeling very socially fatigued. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. There's not going to be too much of an intro here. It's literally just 16 easy miles today. And it's funny when 16 is in front of the word easy because the accumulation of 16 miles is never quite easy, right? So it's a little bit daunting to think about. So we're just not going to think about it all that much. I'm not going to take a hand bottle. I'm actually just going to do essentially 4 miles out, 4 miles back in. I will refuel on my water here at the car and then essentially do the same thing, 4 miles out, 4 miles back. I do have a hand bottle, but it's not the one that I want to race in. I just ordered a new one because it's not very comfortable. So still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do as far as hydration goes on course. I definitely want to do for my half. I definitely want to take on course nutrition, but I don't think I'm going to take a hand bottle. We'll see. I'm kind of like playing things out by ear. So I do have a rain jacket because as you guys saw in yesterday's video, it was so rainy. So if I need to throw this on halfway, I will. And then in my pockets, I have 4 gels because we take a gel every 30 minutes. You guys know this. Regardless of how long the run is, that's been my fuel plan since I started training for Leadville 100, and I'm sticking to it. So 1 gel every 30 minutes. We have some electrolytes in this water, so I will try and chug essentially this whole thing at the halfway point, if not about half of it. And yeah, we're gonna throw some gloves on. I have a Smart Wool headband. We have a New Balance top. I got Janji shorts on, even though it's freezing cold out, and then normal shoes and socks combo. I'll show you guys a little clip of it outside, but we've got normal stuff going on. 16 miles. Yeah. We're just gonna get her done. We're gonna get her done. 16 miles, let's go. Saturday was 16 miles on the calendar and we went back to our paved running route. This was an incredible day, but also a really, really tough day. And I feel like I've mentioned this pretty recently on Instagram as well, that these long runs really remind me how hard running is. Right now, 10 milers, 9 milers basically feel like a regular run day, but these longer sessions where it's over 2 hours, I can really feel the fatigue hitting and definitely can feel myself gritting through these miles, especially at speed. Coming from the ultramarathon world and now working into road speed has been a little bit intimidating, and I can definitely see myself getting a little psyched out for these longer runs that are on Saturdays that are at a pace that is easy for me, but also is a little bit faster than what I have been training on the trails. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. We are about 10 miles in, back to the car, gonna drink some electrolytes before heading back out. We ended our Saturday run with 16.14 miles with an average pace of 8:16 and average heart rate of 143. So once again, a really, really great solid week and really great solid run to end the week. But definitely these Saturday runs, I can feel the fatigue of the entire week kind of weighing on me by the time I get to these long runs, which definitely brings me to my last point that I want to make about grit. I've been asked so much about how I train on the treadmill and don't don't get bored, or how I go out on these long runs every single day and I don't get bored, or how I'm motivated to them, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are literally no shortcuts. There is no magic pill. You literally just have to do the work. And it's not going to be glamorous every single day, and it's definitely going to be gritty at times. But in order to build grit, you have to do the tough thing, which means that you have to do the work. There's no escaping it. And this is something that I tell my clients as well. Just, it's going to be boring at times. And this is why we rely on dedication and discipline, and we don't rely on motivation, because motivation can be so fleeting. Our emotions can be all over the place. And if we listen to those all of the time, we're not going to get the work in that we need to get done. So at the end of the day, this is why I like having a coach as a coach, because it's someone who keeps me accountable and schedules things in my plan. And I'm someone who, as an athlete, I've always been this way, I'm very coachable. So if something is on my plan, I will do exactly what is on the plan and get it done. So this is why I love having a coach. And in general, your coach is going to believe in you so much more than you even believe in yourself. And I think this is where good coaching comes into play, but also just personal discipline and dedication really comes into play. All right, 16 miles down, 8:16 average pace. I am so glad that is over. I'm not even gonna lie. Proud of the work that we put in, but holy cow, I am really happy that's over. Cheers, 16 miles. So this week we ended with 61 miles for the week, and this has been kind of an average of where we've been sitting. And actually the week that I'm currently in, we are touching 70 miles for the week. So things are definitely ramping up as we start getting closer to both the half marathon and also closer to Zion 100, and also a secret project that I have in the middle of these things, which is definitely adding to overall mileage. But in general, I've been feeling okay. There are definitely weeks that feel significantly better than others. In fact, I feel like what you're watching feels a little bit like low energy, and I feel significantly better this week that I'm currently in, even with increased mileage. So definitely focusing on recovery. Some things that I've incorporated throughout the week to help me recover is sauna, cold plunging, hydrating, eating food, and I actually got an IV as well. Looking back at the footage, I think that I was kind of coming down with something, which is why I was also so low energy. So I got a IV that has a multitude of different things in it, including glutathione and vitamin C and zinc and a couple other things I don't remember. But do what you can to recover from your big sessions, and it's going to totally pay off when it comes to overall mileage for the week. I want to leave you with this because I think this is also really important. I have been running for years at this point. I did not start out running 70 miles a week, 60 miles a week. That is not at all what I started with. When you are starting anything new, it's really important to slowly progress up to these bigger mileage days. If you go out too hard and too fast, it's a recipe for injury and overuse. So in general, you need to prime your body to be able to handle this type of mileage. I did not come out of the womb running 70 miles a week. I can promise you that. And it's still hard for me. And as someone who's been doing this for many years, I can tell you that running is hard. Running is still hard for me today. And if these videos don't remind you of that, then I maybe need to make that messaging a little bit clearer. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's video. If you like this type of video, please leave it in the comments, and I will definitely do more in the future if you enjoyed this. I definitely enjoy filming these type of videos because it gives a full spectrum idea of what training specifically looks like. And for those looking for more lifting videos, there will be one coming next week, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season and had a wonderful New Year's and are going into 2025 with some refined mindsets and ready to renew your soul and your body and all the things for great things coming for you in 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay unbreakable.